The wide river valley at the heart of the Holy Nation shone a sickly yellow, dotted with the pink and purple leaves of iron-poisoned trees. The mangy breadbasket of the world needed some work, to be sure. Even though the guild's hydroponics solutions could tide the world over for a bit, to truly recover from millennia of hunger, they were going to have to get on and start farming au naturel. So the question was, who was going to do all the work? Looking for answers, the guild hiked up to Blister Hill. Gentle trails of black smoke rose from that old jewel of the Holy Nation. The inner compound was still as collapsed as it had been when the Great Mover was done with it, or whatever that was. Plus, many of the other buildings across the town had been destroyed during an uprising. But one thing remained the same as ever. The people were bound together in this trying time by a single book. Well, a single comic, really.
It's Truth Trustino!
The watchwoman at the gate gasped. She scrambled to produce her dog-eared copy of The Holy Liar.
I can't believe it! Will you sign it?
She asked. Nuke stepped forward and obliged. Always good to meet a fan. Good rebellion? He said.
We crushed those old fools thanks to your wisdom. Your drawings are like nothing we've ever seen. They inspired us to rise up.
Yes, well, they always get a rise out of me. You'll be wanting to see our complete collection. Oh, and meet the team. Nuke beckoned the Mangaka Academy over. Izumi snuck a look at the Holy Liar, and indeed it was attributed to one Truth Trustino, pictured beside his bio, topless with a majestic stare towards a looming Okran, or Earth if you must. When Truth Trustino tells you to do something, you do it. So really the whole treatise about the great social experiment gone wrong, along with a detailed arc about how the Okranites became afraid of cleavage, was all just filler. Perhaps the tale of the busty blood Baroness of Bast would get its own series one day. The famous artists made their way through the war-torn town, doling out many a treasured autograph, inked on book and bust alike. The non-celebrity members of the guild trudged behind, ignored in their entirety.
Excuse me, we would like to inquire about agricultural development in the valley,
Wadston asked a townsman with a prod on the shoulder. The man turned, staring through love-heart contact lenses and grunting through a foaming mouth, and managed to communicate the presence of an official at the central bar. Thanks to quantum entanglement, Wadston then managed to communicate this to Nuke, who was many ranks deep in a great crowd. There's time for everyone, please. It was all thanks to the discoveries of the famous scientist Izumi, he insisted. Izumi? Izumi who? Someone shouted back.
Skywalker?
Her, she, this, here, Nuke indicated, holding Izumi in the air.
You know, he doesn't look that majestic most of the time,
she said, eyeing the too young, too womanly crowd. But who were they going to believe? Little lying Lizumi or towering Truth Trustino? Well, seems they've gotten over themselves at least, Isaiah commented from afar.
But Dad, it was us who did all the work for them,
Elle said to him. I know, but remember these old fools have spent a lifetime thinking we're good for nothing. I wouldn't expect much from them right away. It'll be up to the smooth-skinned saviors to change that. By the way, I'm not your dad, Charlie.
Everyone is my dad.
Oh. Even those liberal comics couldn't get a scenario like that to play out. Bravo! Eventually they got to this bar and met with a thin man, wearing a wide wooden hat and holding a long, fine moustache between the fingers of both hands. Aha! The Holy Liar himself! Nuke Tashino! He said at once. That's no Naish accent, but not... What? Nuke said back. This man had a very particular way of speaking, which to true experts of human history might be pinned as a distant descendant of Italian. His rare accent and apparent position of authority were both explained by his profession. He was a representative of the Traders Guild. This ultra-rich organization ran just about every business in the United Cities Empire, most importantly of all, the slave trade. And you've been a very naughty boy, silly prince, he said after his introduction. Gas Girl, Book 4, Chapter 31, just after she finds out Prince Stickleman said that love is a static Boolean variable initialized to false. You are a man of culture, I see. Nuke nodded.
And you are a man of evil,
the guildsman proclaimed.
You run around sticking your nose in everything, but never the right things, like in Book 3, Chapter 8, The Open Drawer. You are an enemy of order. We made your father, and so we made you. And we all know that things which we make become our property, unless that thing self-identifies as a subject actor and does not consent to objectification, as explained in Book 1, Chapter 2. I have no mouth, but I must scream, a toilet seat's tale. Now, you come here to disrupt our enterprise yet again. It seems, Fallen Prince, that I have no choice.
The man stood from the bar table and reached for a long katana. Can I just pay you to stop caring? Nuke asked. The katana remained sheathed. What agile trader would pass up a chance to trade an abstraction of emotion for money? Thus, Nuke avoided being assassinated, and the contracts for development of the local farms were reassigned to the locals under the banner of the Free Flotsams, old Morland Company's underground nation. Such were the happenings in the former Holy Nation. But now we move on to the next leg of the tour, in which the guild travelled south to the beginnings of the Vane River. This reddish waterway was host to the majority of the Western Hives, with its eventual delta spilling out into the seas of acid that protected the Queen's Island hideout. That very island was Proto-Queen Beep's destination, nay, her destiny. But she was going to give her would-be drones the chance to taste her sweet association a little early. The very first village was certainly in a state of disassociation. The hives were clustered around a large pond adjoining the river, but all the drones were cowering on the opposite side of it as the guild strolled into town around nightfall. It was soon clear why. The northern bank was stalked by a whole herd of things with beaks.
Beak things!
Isaiah comprehended. It seemed this village was in need of a hero, in need of a queen.
Go and kill them for me, beep! But tell the drones that I did it, beep! I'll know if you lie,
Beep commanded. They say a true leader leads from the front, but isn't it easier to just have someone say you are at the front, while you raid empty hives for tasty meat cubes? Besides, on a round planet, if you go back far enough, you get to the front eventually. Therefore, Beep's hasty retreat could be canonized as an inspirational charge deep into the ferocious pack of stickman snackers. Well, the guild defeated the Beak Thing incursion, restoring the village to order. The hive's drones were about as happy as you can expect, that being they had no reaction at all, but a few of the more awakened cases gave the guild their thanks. That is, until they saw Beep and Gustafsson.
Peril, hiveless ones, they are gone,
the village storekeeper said of them.
Be still. This is the Embered Queen. You must associate,
Gustafsson retorted.
Impossible!
You are lost. You do not associate at all.
False. I associate widely, and with passion you cannot fathom. He's right, man, Nuke commented from the other side of the store. Seeing an argument brewing, Beep stepped in.
Beep,
she said.
Beep? How can that be?
The shopkeep said.
Beep,
I don't...
beep,
No.
you are from the outside? How?
You are so clear. You are so close. It can be felt.
The shopkeep appeared to be somewhat convinced of something, somehow.
Do you see the wind? This is the All Hive, the biggest it's ever been,
Gustafsson said, gesturing towards the rest of the guild behind him.
Association makes us one. Even the unfeeling ones know it. In the future, everyone will be together. Even the other ones.
At the mention of that name, there was a hiver gasp from all the drones milling about, although such things were not audible to the lesser species that witnessed it. For the best, for it would have reached ear-piercing volume when the southern Prince Vio was brought forward.
There is not just the old knowledge, but new. It is cleaner and does not feel cold,
he explained, to use the term broadly.
There should not be another one. Your queen will fade shortly. You must embrace your queen instead.
Other one? You associate?
The shopkeep stuttered.
Everyone, everything associates. If you will be open, there will be no hiveless one, no outsiders, and the hive will be ready for the reckoning.
The wreck?
And it cannot be done without a new, strong queen. All know this, Gustafsson said.
I want to be queen.
Els chimed from amid the rum aisle.
You see, even the egg-enslaved kin feels it, Gustafsson stressed.
The shopkeep stared at Beep, who stared back. The staring lasted a good hour, by which time the rest of the guild had enjoyed a midnight picnic by the pond and was ready to go.
Queen Beep, are you ready to go?
Izumi called into the hive.
Beep, I go, but I stay. You will feel strong when I am done. Beep,
Beep said in parting to her silent staring companions. With this, the guild were off down the valley, walking through a rainy, pitch-dark night towards the faint glow of the next hive, then the next, then the next. At each stop, a similar scene played out, in which curious locals accosted the hiver run-in for their lack of association to the hive, then were boggled by the mysterious allure of Beep and her Manksand magic. We unfeeling ones may not understand, but to take Nuke's keen assessment, perhaps there are protrusions you just can't say no to. After rushing through this all-night tour, they all arrived at the western coast of the world, where the Vane River turned into the Pain Sea. The Islands of Destiny sat out there in the midst of the great acid tide.
Submerge!
The hivers chorused as they approached the water's edge. Wait, Bad Green, we can't just... we need a boat, okay? Nuke said. Izzy, can we have a boat?
whatever you like, darling,
Izumi called, lost in a scavenged copy of the Journal of Parasitology and Earth-chan media. But Nuke's quarter-life crisis was not to play out, for the hivers carried on forward on their own.
You would not like it. It will make you jealous, Gustafsson said. You should wait. We shall return when the hive is remade, and you can choose when we shall force your association.
Perhaps after dinner, Nuke offered, but his response was irrelevant. The hivers were swimming out into the calming buzz of that chemically questionable ocean.
Wait! Oh, they already left,
Izumi said.
Rick, please go after them. If there's a chance to get any historical data, you'll do it, won't you?
She reached out as if to touch Rick on the quote-unquote arm, but thought better of it. Rick was thinking better too. You know, asking a new man to go burn up in a pool of acid is just as offensive as asking an old man, he said.
Sorry, but we can't miss this.
I know. Hey boys, you wanna go play voyeur on this weird-ass shit the plant people are pulling? It's not gonna be all disgusting, is it? Twitch asked. It's gonna be wacky, I bet. Then it's a wacky wager for me. Let's water walk, Agnew, Neil said. Agnew philosophized. So then, the hivers and the skeletons began their voyage out across the still sea, while everyone else went back to the nearest hive village to await whatever it was that was going to happen. They set up camp in the trading hive, the place where the drones were happy to accommodate outsiders on account of their tendency to have interesting yet feelingless trinkets known as money.
Are you ready to buy?
One hopeful trader asked of Nuke. Nuke was slumped against the shelf that the trader stood beside, not looking up as the sales drone gestured to different luxury products on offer.
This stick can be used to stir 80 times. It has already stirred 73 times. However, you do not know that. Therefore, I believe it should be valued at its full measure, 1/2 of money. It is sold. This is the piece of blue fabric that I found. It is beyond value. This is a cup that can hold 1 palm of solid forever, and 1 palm of liquid for a short time. If you place another cup underneath it, they will together hold the liquid for twice as long. Given that, each cup is worth twice as much as you think. I do not have another cup. If you cannot afford it, I will produce sediment and affix it so that it holds less. However, the value of sediment must be accounted for. 2 money. No! 2 money. It is sold.
Nuke said nothing, and soon felt nothing, yet the marketeering carried on. Far away, as the morning light began to beam across the ocean, the hivers clambered ashore on the Royal Hive's island. Wasting no time, they hiked up to the top of the only hill, where the pinkish mank of the Queen's lair wafted an austere scent in the morning breeze. But then, right at the entrance, they halted.
This is when you shall change,
Gustafsson said to Beep.
Beep! I have been trying to change. I hope it works. Beep!
Yes, when you are changed, you will have many princes. I will not disturb the pattern.
Beep! But you are the nice prince who is special. Beep! Will that change?
My queen, how can I possibly predict the feeling?
Beep! Soon I will calculate feelings for you, so you won't have to worry. Beep!
Ah, the guiding feeling. I have felt on my own for a long time. I am curious about it.
Beep! I will let you feel it first. I promise. Beep! You have helped me a lot. You have saved the hive. Beep! If I died, everyone would be in the fog. Beep! Kin said that I should not stay alive, but you did not. You said I should be alive, and that my protrusion was beautiful. Beep! You were right. Beep! I feel that you are important.
I feel it too, Gustafsson said.
You getting all this? Twitch said from nearby.
Yeah, thought it'd be wacky, but the only thing getting whacked is my heart.
Neil said. Grrr, Agnew wept. Finally, Beep ducked through the hive hole and entered the royal chamber. There the queen sat upon her rusted throne, attended to by scantily clad hiver soldiers. A perk, one presumes. She said. The soldiers did not stop Beep from walking right up to the throne, but seemed to be itching to intervene. They groaned and moaned and pointed at Beep with accusations of impropriety, yet Beep paid them no heed. She stepped up to the queen and looked down at her metallic belly, dirty and pocked. The queen looked Beep in the eyes and made another robotic vocalization.
It is over. Beep! I will do it. Beep! I have been practicing.
Beep said. The queen barked.
The outsiders are starting to know. Beep! They don't feel it. Beep! They might want to. Beep! They might help me. Beep, beep, beep.
The queen said again, shifting about on her throne. Then, in an event not witnessed for over 1,000 years, she lifted herself out of it, the tubes running into her iron stomach stretching out with her.
We have failed!
The hive guards despaired, dropping to the ground. The queen reached out, seeing nothing through her long since failed eyes, but felt Beep in front of her.
It is too much. Opposite. We can believe. Please.
The queen said. So saying, she slowly trod around Beep and pushed her towards the throne, entangling her in a mess of wires and tubes hanging out of it. And then, one supposes, Beep became the queen. What did this look like? What even happened? A secret among royalty to the very end, I'm afraid. All we know is that some hours later, Beep emerged from the hive, where Gustafsson quickly knelt before her.
You are my queen,
he said. Beep swayed from side to side and started pulling off her trousers.
Beep! It must be you! Wow! Beep! So much!
She muttered. She managed to give the trousers to Gustafsson, then fell into a deep sleep. Gustafsson quickly put the trousers on, and at this the other hivers knelt to him.
The new hive is birthed. I will carry it for us all, he announced.
Twitch, you there? What's going on?
Izumi's voice said to Twitch's CPU.
I am here, but they're just trading trousers, and that's not even a euphemism. I don't know,
he said.
What about the knowledge, the data?
I'll ask, I guess. Hey, Prince Trouser Power, does Beep have some data backups or something now?
Data? She has everything,
Gustafsson said with indignation.
Oh, right. You hear that, Gremlin Princess? They got everything, apparently.
Everything? Oh, Narcos Freckles, this is it. Thank you, Twitch. Say thank you to the hivers, will you? Oh, wow.
Sure. The short lady says, thanks for getting that data.
It is not data, it is everything,
Gustafsson insisted again.
Right. You best go explain that in person. I mean, I didn't even get the trousers part, so no idea what's going on now.
Twitch's plan went ahead. The team departed the Royal Hive without so much as a goodbye, with Beep riding on Gustafsson's back as he breaststroked all day. And if you think there's anything strange about that description, you had best go see your local parasitologist. The result was the Coronation crew met up with the guild at a Hiver village, where now Gustafsson was treated not with hostility, but with complete and utter indifference. That really was what victory looked like.
What's wrong with Beep?
Izumi was quick to ask the returning prince.
She is processing everything. Installations will occur. It will take time,
Gustafsson said.
Okay, how long?
Unknown. Irrelevant. We need only survive until it occurs.
But I really, really need that data. Gustafsson, do you understand what this means?
You do not understand,
Gustafsson shouted.
It is not data. It is everything. It is all feelings. It is all of the loss. To be queen is to know everything. Everything is bad. The queen keeps the feelings so that no one will ever know. If she accesses the past, the feelings will return and despoil us all. You must never ask it of her. Never!
Is that... What feelings are you talking about?
The bad feelings from the past. From before the Hive was Hive. From these,
Gustafsson said, pointing at the skeletons.
And those,
he added, pointing at Nuke.
All that is known is that the amount known now is optimal. No one shall know. No one shall feel anything else. That is the duty of the Queen.
Bummer, Nuke shrugged. What was it I did anyway?
Your person is not it. It is you, your kin,
Gustafsson said. Nice, so we're blaming my dad for all this, right? I'm down with that. By the way, Beep looks kind of the same, right?
That is because this is Queen Beep. She is the same object as Beep, the potential queen, who you previously knew.
I get that. I just thought there'd be, like, more protrusions or something now.
Do not worry. There will be more protrusions. I will make sure of it.
Oh, well, yep, not worried. Mission accomplished, Nuke said, wandering off. You might think he was being a little flippant, but after days without sleep, walking through driving rain, and being non-consensually sold a variety of used and abused kitchenware, he just wasn't able to deal with anything else right then. So, Beep had completed her mission, in a sense, but it seemed another mission was starting for her, and whatever secrets she had access to were locked away behind quite a lot of Hiver talk, and maybe something else a lot more serious. It was hard to determine what all this was about, but as it happened, some light would be shed on it soon. The victory tour was to continue down to the Shek Kingdom, where answers to the Hiver mysteries had been under their noses for a long time.